How are you doing? I'm Tarah Wheeler Van Vlack, and this is Tarah Talks. You can follow me on Twitter at @Tarah, and I will be answering questions today via Twitter, email, and the Google Hangout question and answer application that you can hopefully see open near you. Today's conversation is about how to get a meeting with your tech idol. This is something that I'm doing almost defensively at this point because I get several emails a day from people asking me for my time and my energy. Some of them I respond to, some of them don't, and some of them I hand to my co-founder and go, dude, you better check this out. This guy seriously thought he was going to get me to email him back. So here's how to do it right. Here's how to get someone to pay attention to you when you're emailing them out of the middle of nowhere and you want something from them. All right, let's get this show on the road. First of all, today is English tea time because someone else asked again. Yes, it is the sweepings from the floor of a proper tea factory, and I don't really care at this point because it has caffeine and it is dark, dark as the night. Okay, I actually have a list of ways not to write the email as well as to write the email to your tech idol to get a response from them. And part of this is painful personal experience. And most of these I've done myself to someone. So don't feel bad if you're the one who's done it yourself. First and foremost, do not ever ask for someone's time. Never ask for their time because you can't judge how much time not only do they have to give you, but how much time they will take to give you the solution that you're really looking for. Don't ask for their time, ask for their help on a specific solution. There's a reason behind this. There's a reason why you're not asking for someone's time. You're not my friend. I don't know you. And the people that I owe time and effort and emotional energy to are my friends and loved ones. I don't owe you anything. And for asking me for and if you are asking me for my time, then you're presuming that you're going to be perfectly justified in taking time away from the conversation I might want to have with one of my little sisters in Denver, or reading a really good book. Why should I give you time instead of give you the answer to a question or a possible pointer? I'll happily do the latter, but not the former. I have too many good books to read before I croak. Number two, do not ask me for a favor. This presumes that I owe you something, and it can often come off not only as desperate, but as angry or entitled, or as someone who feels like my place on this earth is to do nothing but give you a hand. I will cheerfully, happily help out people that not only do I think I can help, but who are generally courteous about asking for it. So ask nicely and don't ask me for a favor. Don't start with, can I ask you a favor? Because the answer almost certainly is no, click. It's just going to bug me, and it bugs whoever else you're emailing to. Number three, answer this question more than anything else. What do you want from me? Don't email saying, I just want to see if I can spend a little time with you. I want to, God help you if you say, I want to pick your brain over coffee. That's an instantaneous no. You get round filed there. Or I have a special folder actually for entertaining emails, and depending on how bad it is, it might go into that. So tell me what you want from me. Do you want me to give you a recommendation? Do you want me to give an introduction to someone for you? Do you want money? Do you want a job? That's a very common one, and a lot of people want to know how to find a job, or a mentor if they're emailing me. So you need to be very, very clear on what it is that you want from me. Number four, are you the center of the universe? If you are not the center of the universe, do not write your email that way. Start with the assumption that I don't have the time to talk to you, because I probably don't. Ask yourself in that moment, are you okay with me not being able to talk to you? Are you okay with sending that email into oblivion? I've sent lots of emails into total oblivion. I've asked for help from people that have never gotten back to me, and it didn't really hurt my self-esteem all that much. Yet at the same time, I realized that the reason that they didn't respond was not personal. The person I was emailing, maybe the CEO of a big startup or someone who was famous and I thought could give me a hand with something, maybe they just didn't feel like emailing me back. Maybe their assistant is there to filter emails like that from people like me. And in my case, if what you're doing is presuming that I'm there specifically as a as a favor ATM, it's going to bug me and it's going to bug anybody else that you email. So ask yourself, how did you write this email? Did you write it presuming that I would have the time to go and Google you or to look up your LinkedIn? Because I don't and I won't. If you want me to know something, include it right there. But don't assume that I'm going to go and do work. You don't give me a homework assignment in your email, basically. Number 5, here's where we get to how to get someone to email you back. I'm one of the directors for Hack the People, which is the world's largest tech mentorship initiative. One of the fastest ways to get my attention, both personally and professionally, is to volunteer to help or to open one of those groups in a new city. I will move mountains to give you a hand for that because I care deeply about tech mentorship. I wouldn't be here giving you my particularly acerbic brand of technical humor if I didn't care enough to see you guys succeed. People succeed. I'm trying to eviscerate the word guys from my vocabulary. So if the person that you're trying to reach has something that they participate in, that's a very quick way to get their attention. If I really wanted to meet Nathan Fillion, I mean really wanted to meet Nathan Fillion, like show him my brown coat embroidery and my crazy fan collection and possibly some action figures, which I will not admit to owning, I would volunteer for, I believe his charity is called Kids Need to Read. If I really wanted to meet him that badly, I would be willing to put some time and effort and energy into it. I might do something like volunteer to put together a fundraiser here in the Seattle area or wherever I am at the time and provide some mentorship and do a partnership agreement, something like that. I would find a way to put some time and effort into it to show that I actually cared. And I might find a way to make it not a waste of my time, even if I never did, so that my feelings wouldn't be hurt if I wasn't going to get to meet the man himself. What that does, though, is it says not only am I a reasonably decent person, which, wink, we'll just pretend that's the case, but it also says that I'm worth this person's time and I care about some of the same things they care about. So just so that you know, Nathan Fillion, I may be putting together a fundraiser on your behalf later on. All right, so number 6, be genuine. I can smell fakes who want favors and time and effort and energy with zero payoff for me whatsoever. Again, you're not my friend. How are you helping me, and how are you genuinely committed to what it is that you're doing? If what you want to do is you want to make a splash in Seattle, maybe you want introductions in Portland, or you know some folks in Silicon Valley that I do, and you want to have me give effort and energy on your behalf, you better find a way to make it worth my while. And I don't mean that in a monetary sense. Are you willing and able to contribute to something I'm going to want you to contribute to? Are you going to help out some of the people that I care about helping? Maybe you would like to create opportunities for people that I would like to help. That's the way that this works. But that also means you have to be genuine. You have to be serious in what it is that you say you will and won't do. Number 7, tell me what you really want. Don't send me a resume. I repeat this, tell me what you really want and be honest about it again and again in different ways. I'm hoping somebody's going to catch on one day. Do not ever, out of the middle of nowhere, just send me a resume. First, I'm not going to read it because I don't care. Second, if there was something in there that you really wanted to tell me, you would have. Something that happens when someone sends me a resume is often, first, they expect that I will read it. Second, that I will spend emotional and intellectual energy parsing it, and then I will magically know what they want. I don't know what you want. Maybe you want a job. Maybe you want to change careers. Maybe you just want to know if your resume sucks. I don't know, but without having a clear question in your email, I'm not going to be able to help you. And I'm probably not going to want to because it's going to bug me. Number 8, say something that tells me that you know you're talking to me and not to whoever else you have BCC'd on this email. You should mention something that has to do with interest or a cause that I am related to. If you pay attention at all to my Twitter feed or my Facebook, which is public, or my LinkedIn, you know that I'm a poker player. Maybe if you want to get to know me and you want something from me, invite me to a charity poker tournament. That is going to get my attention real damn fast because probably I will come. All right, so if you want to get my attention, show me that you know me and that you put a little time and effort and energy into this. You can be, a 21, 22-year-old kid just out of awesome. But do your homework first of all and show me that you care enough that this isn't an email that you form sent out to 50 people. I adore Tim Ferriss, and his email tactics for getting someone's attention are par excellence. I absolutely adore them. I use some of them myself. But don't pretend that they're genuine when it comes to getting the attention of a single person whose help and effort and energy you want. Number 9, never, 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 never lie. Never lie about who you are, what you want, where you're coming from. I don't care what it is. I don't mind if you don't mention things that you don't think are appropriate. Hell, that's part of the joy and fun of writing a first email, is figuring out what you should and shouldn't include. But don't ever lie to me. Don't ever lie to anybody. This is the age of social media. Someone's going to be able to figure it out really fast. Number 10. Imagine that you, personally, are paying me to read this email and that it costs you $1 a word. If you can afford to send emails out to people that cost you $100 a pop, sure, go for it. If you can send those kinds of emails and you genuinely could afford to pay me $100 to read your email, I probably already know you on LinkedIn anyway. But if you can't, ask yourself, what are you asking me to give up, to not do, instead of read your work, or read your email, read your attempt to contact me? I might be spending 5 minutes on you. I promise you that I would rather be reading David Weber at that moment. If you've ever read Honor Harrington or the Nimoy Alban series, the man is a genius on alternative military history and futuristic science fiction. The hard science, I'd rather be curled up in a corner reading. So if you're going to email me, make it short and make it sweet. And the absolute final last thing that I want to offer as a technique here is make your email a binary. I personally inculcate this culture throughout my company, through the people that I talk to and through the people that I mentor. If you send me a 3-paragraph email that requires more than a 1-word response, you will not get it. You might get something eventually. I might put you on the list of people to talk to later if I ever have a reason to. But if you send me an email that has 4 sentences in it and no more, and one of those sentences is this the case, or can you do this thing, or would you like to, and the possible responses are yes or no, then you have won at emailing, because then I'm very likely to send you an email saying something more than yes or no. It's probably going to sound more like, yes, sure, email me next week more about this, or no, I'm sorry, I don't have the time right now, but here's someone else who might be able to help you more. Either one of those responses is a lot more helpful than just having it disappear into the round bin of history. Okay, so those are my major 11 techniques for actually getting the attention of someone that you're trying to talk to. I'm going to sum this all up really. You need to figure out what it is that you want from the person that you're trying to talk to. You need to be honest, you need to be forthright, and you need to be clear. I don't have the time to make you feel better about trying to talk to me. So the clearer you are and the less personally you take it, if my answer is no, the more I'm going to respect you. And I have a pretty good memory for a lot of stuff. And if someone emails me respectfully with a question that I can't answer, it still might go in my list of things to keep in mind if I meet someone who could help you. So be clear, be honest, be forthright. Don't ever ask me for 15 minutes just to get to know me, to find out if you can feel me out, to ask your real question, because you're not going to get them. I would really rather be reading, or God help me, actually spending some time with my husband. So tell me what you want, and I will tell you if I can help you. All right, let's take a look at some of these questions. I just got a question about, okay, so really fashion people. I just got a question about my hat. I made it. There you go. I'll try to show that. It's a tiny, it just felt like a tiny hat day. What can I say? Okay. Yeah, I just put little clippies in it, and it clips to my hair, and I like it. It's really cool. Yes, I repaired it on the bus this morning. My husband thought it was very funny to have to hold all of my crafty bits and pieces while I was putting together the clips and everything like that together. It just stuck it all down in there. Anyway. Question number 2. I already answered the one about the tea, so that one we're going to get out of the way. Good question. What do you do when you think someone has received your email, they haven't responded, it's been some time, and you really, really do need an email from them? Okay, so the answer to that question is, if someone has not responded to you and you genuinely need their response, there are one of 2 reasons that could be. 1, they don't want to respond to you, or number 2, they didn't think they had to respond to you. So if they don't want to respond to you, that could be that you put them in an uncomfortable situation, that you have asked a question that they don't have the answer to and don't want to admit that they don't have the answer to. Or they are some other reason that has nothing whatsoever to do with you. Remember, you're not the center of the universe. It took me a while to learn that one too. The second thing is they may not think they had to. They may think they have. So what you need to do is you need to check back, and you need to make every single email to them a binary. So ask the question in a return email. Say, I sent you an email about a week ago, and I was hoping you'd have a chance to look at it. I might not have been too clear the first time around, so just to be clear, my original question was, would you like to do this thing for this reason because of X benefit? Yes or no? If I haven't heard from you in 1 week, I'll assume you don't. Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Okay, thanks. Bye. Tarah Wheeler Van Vlack. Kisses. The reason you do that is you waiting for them to get back. You don't have to worry about it for more than another week. I set tickers on a lot of the tasks and requests and things like that that I make. So when you send an email like that, it reminds the person, it checks to make sure that something didn't hit their spam filter. There's no reason to ask them to check their spam filter. They will or they won't, and if they haven't already, they probably won't. And it lets them know that your previous email, which might not have been concise enough, can be boiled down to a simple yes or no question. You are much more likely right then to get a yes or no. In fact, that reminder email I send a week later after I ask someone questions is often the email that gets me the response that I want, probably more than half the time. When you say something like, in a week, if I haven't heard from you, I'm going to assume that you can't help. Say it nicer than that, but I'm going to assume that either you didn't receive my email or that this isn't something that interests you at this time. Thanks so much for your attention. And then click. Send it off. What that does, again, is it tells people that, first, your time is valuable too, remember. Just because you're emailing someone who you think can help you or can give you some energy, effort, and favors doesn't mean that your time isn't valuable. So carefully select the people that you want to ask questions of and favors of. And finally, make really sure that you have been respectful in both of those emails, because I do have that folder of emails that occasionally I'll go back in and look in, and a couple of them are my own to some other people that I realized later were wildly inappropriate. I either gave them too much information and I bored the hell out of them, or I asked them something they couldn't possibly do, or I put them in an impossible personal situation. And it's good. Let us look at another question here. Where did it? Okay. So now we've got, oops, there it is. Do we have any of those? Next question, we've got a question from Joni. Awesome. Do you have any specific advice on how to ask someone to be a mentor for you? I absolutely do. And the reason for that is this is often the question that I get asked. It often comes to me in the form of someone who's very hesitant and very shy, and they're asking me for that cup of coffee and to pick my brain. They'll say something like, I would like a mentor and I would love to spend a little time with you learning how I can do that. The first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get irritated when I'm asked the question, will you spend a little time with me to help me with this thing? And the reason why is, if they had Googled me, they would see entire pages full of results where I've done probably at this point over 100 videos offering advice on how to get mentors, how to get this information. And what it tells me is they maybe want to make a connection with me more than they want me to be a mentor. So the first piece of advice that I always have for someone is, have you checked out my list of videos here? When you watch them, then come back to me. I don't know of anybody else who's done the extensive work doing videos on mentoring and technology that I have and that I've posted. So the classes are already there. The information's already there. When someone has gone through those, when they've shown me that they've done their homework, and that was one of my points, remember, show me that you've done your homework before you're talking to me. Then when someone asks me, how do I ask someone else to be my mentor? One of the first pieces of advice that I give them is, what's the information that you know about them? Why do you think this is going to be a good person to be a mentor for you? One of my, I've probably got 3 major mentors right now. A lot of people serve as mentors for me, but there are 3 people really who serve as mentors. Only one of them really is someone that most folks in technology would know. Another is someone many people in business would know. And one of them is someone who's known by very, very few people, at least in the world that we're in right now, in technology. And I chose these people to be my mentors, and I look up to them and I ask them questions because I feel like they have parts of their personalities and skill sets that they're much better at than I am. One of my mentors has multiple degrees. It's the only woman I really think of as a mentor right now. She's someone who actually scares me a little bit. And her ability to mesh information, to focus, to be inspirational personally to me for how she conducts herself is, it's an inspiration, and I learn from her every chance that I get. So necessarily because of the connections that they have or their networks, I chose them because they have personal traits that I wanted to learn to emulate. And not to put too fine a point in it, but someone who sends me an email saying, you seem so kind and sweet, I would love to learn more about how to be kind and sweet like you, probably doesn't know me very well, and they probably haven't seen much of my sense of humor. That's not really what I can help people with right now. So figure out why you want that person to be your mentor. If you can't write a list of 5 reasons down saying, here are the personality traits, the business skills, the acumen that I want to develop, and these are the reasons why you as a person have more of these things than I do, why I will shut my face and listen to you when you have advice for me, then you've found someone who will be a good mentor. And you know what? At that point, you don't need my help to get them to be your mentor. You need to send them an email that starts with the words, I would like you to be my mentor for these 5 reasons that I've included below. Will you, yes or no? It can even be less formal than that. These are the 5 reasons. These are the 3 reasons. This is the major reason why I want you to be my mentor. Tell them and make it honest. You heard me just now explain why I chose this woman as one of my mentors. I meant every single word I just said. And if you can't mean it, really mean that you want to learn from someone like that, that you don't respect and respond to their advice and genuinely question your own decisions if they conflict with something that this person has given you as a piece of advice, then maybe you're not emotionally ready to get mentored at all, much less by that person. Find something you genuinely admire and want to learn and emulate in someone. Then you don't need my help. You found someone already that you think is going to be a good pick for you. It doesn't need to be about their connections or who they know. It needs to be about you and what you want to improve in yourself. And make sure that it's something that they're going to enjoy and receive some benefit from. I actively work to help my mentors in ways that are not as big as they can help me. One day they might be, but I work to help them, and I show that I will work to help them, and I provide them benefit where I can. So if I have any single piece of advice after the list of information that I've given you, and hopefully really extensively answering that question, it is be clear. Know what you want and say it. Follow me on Twitter at TARAH. You can ask me questions over the course of the week. It was a pleasure speaking to you folks. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And as always, ask me anything you like. For those folks that are going to be around for DEF CON, I will be there and I will see you there. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.